guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a first impression / review type video on the MAC Studio Waterweight foundation. I picked this up a couple of days ago and I was really excited to try it. I have not bought and tried a MAC foundation in a really long time, at least a liquid foundation. I use the Studio Fix powder, but I haven't bought one of their liquid foundations in a really long time. And so when they came out with this one, I was definitely intrigued by it, but hesitated a little bit, and so I've only just purchased it and I thought I would just do a review on it. So just I guess the first couple of things about this product. I purchased the shade NC25 and this is definitely a lighter shade for me, and I wanted that because in the wintertime I'm definitely more pale and I don't self-tan as much, so I wanted something that I could just have for an everyday type of use and I wouldn't have to worry about if it was matching the rest of my body. One cool thing about this that I like, because the reason I bought this was for daytime specific use, and this has SPF in it, so that's always a bonus. And I like the packaging. It's got very slick packaging. It's a glass bottle and has this dropper. Now, I like the way that it looks, okay? So I like the look of this. I think it looks very cool. But functionality-wise, I don't love the dropper. I feel like it's a little messy and just kind of a little bit inconvenient to use. I don't know. I don't love the dropper thing, but I do like how it looks. So I guess for that reason alone, I do like the packaging on this, but yeah, just slightly inconvenient with the dropper. But if you guys want to see how I apply this and then kind of how it wears throughout the day, then just go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so to get started, I am going to use a primer just because I would always use a primer under any foundation. So I am going to use this one from Arbonne, and I got a little sample of this given to me, and so I guess this will kind of be a review on this product as well, because I haven't really used it. I did try it once, but this will be a good true test of this primer. This feels to me very much like the Benefit Professional. It has that same kind of smoothing effect and it feels very silky when you put it on the skin. And then to apply the foundation, I'm going to shake it up first because the package says to shake it up before you use it. And I'm just going to drop a little bit on the back of my hand and use a foundation brush and work like that. This dropper packaging is not my favorite, I gotta tell you guys. I feel like it's a little bit messy and I don't know, just kind of inconvenient. I don't know. It looks pretty, it's a really pretty looking bottle, but as far as functionality goes, it's not my favorite. So I just drop a bunch of that out of my hand. Can't really tip it because this is a very runny foundation. And I'm just going to paint it on. This is a Morphe foundation brush, and I've been liking this brush for foundation. So it is a very light coverage, but I've been told that it's buildable. So this first layer is very light, but it is evening out my skin tone. It goes on so smooth, it just feels very silky. I feel like it's just blending into my skin really well. But it's definitely a light coverage at this stage. I'm going to try to build it up where I have redness and see how much we can cover. Overall, right now, I feel like I have nothing on my skin. It is so lightweight. So lightweight. And I feel like it just looks like my skin. You can see that it's kind of got a dewy finish at the moment. It's pretty glowy, which I love for a foundation, a daytime foundation. I love to be glowy and dewy looking. I feel like it makes you look a little bit more youthful, and I don't even mind looking a little bit oily throughout the day, just because for me, I don't know, I just feel like it helps me to like maintain a more youthful appearance. I am starting to get fine lines and things, so I feel like when I'm glowy, kind of like counteracts that a little bit. I mean, I don't want to look like a grease ball, but I don't mind a little dewiness. And to kind of build up the coverage, like where I have redness, I'm just taking a tiny bit more on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna grab my Real Techniques sponge and just try to build this up a little bit. Like, I would have a lot of redness here, like on my cheeks, so I'm gonna try to balance that out a little. And then I do like to just go over my entire face with the sponge after I've applied the foundation, just to really make sure it's pressed into the skin and I don't have any like excess product sitting on top of my skin. I really like my daytime look to be very natural looking. So I love how this feels on my skin. It feels like nothing, like I feel like I don't have anything on. It is definitely a light to medium coverage, but I like that for daytime. It's not covering up all of my blemishes or anything, but I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like I want a really minimal looking skin during the daytime. I don't like to look too made up. For the most part, like as far as my skin goes, I don't like to look cakey or like I'm wearing too much product on my actual skin. And so if I have a little bit of a blemish poking through, like I just kind of live with that. I'm not too bothered. If you want to cover up your blemishes, I would conceal, like spot conceal first underneath this foundation, and then I'm sure it would cover a little bit better, but it's definitely not going to be like covering up all your spots if you've got a breakout going on. Like I've got kind of scarring right here from a couple of spots I had last week, and they're definitely still showing through, but when I go in with my concealer to highlight and stuff, I think it will balance out and be okay. So overall, I'm really loving the finish of this. I love how glowy it looks. I just feel like my skin just looks radiant and healthy and not like makeup-y at all, and I'm really liking that a lot. Okay, so this is what the makeup looks like. I have put on just concealer and set it with translucent powder. So I wanted to show you guys a close-up of what my skin is kind of looking like. I used a translucent powder to set because I didn't want to add any additional coverage to the look. I want to see how this really holds up on itself. So I just used my NARS translucent powder to set my entire face, my under eyes and everything. But for concealer, I used NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Vanilla. And I don't know if I said this before, I can't remember, but my foundation shade in this foundation is NC25. This is definitely a pale shade for me, which I wanted because in the wintertime I'm lazy and I don't self-tan as much. So I'm a little bit more fair, and I just kind of wanted something that would work for me in those occasions when I'm not like tanning and stuff. So this is kind of what the skin looks like without any other makeup on. But I'm gonna finish the rest of my face and then we'll head out for the rest of the day. Okay guys, so I finished the rest of my makeup, and so far my first impression of this foundation is that I really, really like it for daytime. I feel like there's nothing on my skin. It's super weightless, and I really think the coverage is good considering how light that it is. I mean, I have freckles and kind of uneven skin tone to begin with, so that's just always something I'm gonna have a little bit of because that's just my skin. But I really like the coverage of this for daytime. I feel like super confident. I don't feel like I'm wearing too much, doesn't feel cakey at all, and I really like how the rest of my makeup applied over the top of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my day, and I will check in with you guys a couple of times throughout the day to let you know how it's wearing. And then I'll give you my final kind of thoughts on it tonight before I take it off. Okay, so you guys might not really be able to tell in this lighting how well the foundation is holding up, but I did want to update you. I've been running around all day doing errands, and I had the foundation on for like 4 hours now at this point, and I feel like it's holding up really well. It's not settling into any fine lines. It still looks really glowy and good coverage still. I don't feel like I need to powder at all, which I have oily skin, so sometimes like 4 hours in I would powder, but I don't feel like I need to at all. I've been like moving boxes and like running around too, so I've been like hot as well, and it's honestly so good. I'm very impressed, really loving this, and I still feel like it looks really good. I don't like the lighting, oh god, you probably can't tell, but let me see if I can get a little closer up and try to show you. This is like a really awkward camera to try and like vlog with because it's like so big. But can you guys see? It's like still looking really good. I'm happy with it. Really loving it so far actually. Sorry, I'm like looking in the viewfinder to make sure this is in focus. But yeah, really loving this. Okay guys, so I'm back home now after a full day of running around and running errands. And it is about 6 p.m. and that means I've had the foundation on for pretty much 8 hours now. And I gotta tell you, I am so impressed with how this foundation has held up throughout my whole day of like running around and it's pissing down with rain today as well, so being in and out of the rain and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like it still looks really good. I have not touched up at all, not added any powder or anything like that. It has settled just a tiny bit into like my smile lines, but I have never come across a foundation that doesn't do that for me. So it is settling just a tiny bit there. You can, I don't know if you can kind of tell. Maybe I'll zoom you in later. But it is settling just a little bit, but like I said, I've never come across a foundation that doesn't do that, so not too upset about that. It really hasn't broken up like around my nose or anything, and I feel like I'm not looking too shiny either. And that probably has something to do with the primer that I used. I actually feel like I really like this primer as well, so I'm gonna keep using that primer and maybe I'll like update you on my thoughts, but I feel like the primer's done a really good job of keeping my skin pretty matte-ish today. I guess sitting here under this light, like, you can see I'm shiny, but like I told you before, I don't really mind that. Like, I like looking kind of dewy and a little bit oily, and I don't know, I just like that look on my skin. I think it's very youthful. It also has settled a little bit into this wrinkle in my forehead that I have, this like expression line. But again, kind of like my smile lines, like I've never come across a foundation that doesn't settle into that after a while. And I think for 8 hours of wear, it's still looking so good. If I was gonna go out now and maybe like go for an after work drink or go for dinner or something like that, I would probably touch up. I'd probably just add a little powder to the center of my forehead and just kind of clean up around my smile lines and stuff like that. But I wouldn't honestly powder too much. I like the dew, I like the glowiness, so overall, I love this foundation. I'm so glad that I bought it. I think it's the perfect like day-to-day foundation for me, and I will definitely be continuing to use it. So if you're someone who has oily combo skin and you're looking for a really good, lightweight, day-to-day foundation, I would definitely recommend trying this one out. I am gonna end this little video review here. I'm gonna go work out, which means I need to take this makeup off my face. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions that I did not answer about the foundation, just go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks guys, I'll see you in my next one. Bye!